Parenting from peace. It is our heart's desire that our families and our students would be equipped with tools to be able to give the little hearts in our care our very best. And so when Miss Sparks and I talked about offering these parenting equipping courses in the fall, this would have been the discipline class. But today, with the transitions and the situations we all find ourselves in, I just want the focus to get wrapped up in a greater calling that we would see and hear our children, ourselves, and those that we love. We want to best support you so that you can best support them. With all the crazy and the chaos around us, it is so important for each of us to be putting into practice what will bring our home and ultimately our children peace. Doesn't that sound good? Peace. Because in all of the go, go, go and do, this has forced us a stop. And that stop can be a time to be intentional about growth, both personally and as a home and a family. And instead of just surviving this time, these are opportunities for growth. So let's thrive and not just survive. So in 3 base parenting trainings, my hope is that you will be empowered to parent with confidence with some new tools. This is a self-care, so grab some coffee and maybe a notepad and get ready to be refreshed in this time of incredible recharge of parenting. I want to encourage you that yesterday, one of the things that I said over and over in wellness calls with parents is that perfection is not the goal. Progress is. We have to parent from where our children are and not where you want them to be. And we know that everyone is supercharged in this time, so don't be surprised by everyone being activated and triggered. Right, those are counselor words. Bored and on edge, and the behaviors that are going to come from that. So first, let's start with roles. What is their job and what is your job? You are the parent. They are the child. They are supposed to be developing and making mistakes and learning lessons, and we are the adults. So we call the shots so that the monkeys don't run the zoo. But more importantly, because you can make the choices for them that they can't for themselves to keep themselves safe and cared for, that's why this is important. I've heard on different occasions, well, I don't want them to be mad at me. And can I just tell you that our worth and our acceptance and fulfillment doesn't come from our children. That's what we are supposed to give them. And as adults, we can find that love and affirmation in healthy ways from our spouse, supportive family and friends, or from your faith. I've also heard it's just easier to give in. And I get that. And you may feel in the moment it is, but consistency is the hard job of parenting. And that's what will produce what allows our children to flourish into the men and women that we wish for them to become. Then the regrets and the overwhelm of an out-of-control teenager and that heartbreak hopefully will not find you in a place of completely being undone and wishing that you could have had what we hope you get some of today. This is your job, and you can do it. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Behaviors are communication. Behaviors are the fruit indicating that there is something going on at the root, and we want to address the root. We want to shepherd our children's hearts. Remember that they are not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time. So let's be honest. Most of the time we correct our children when we've had enough, or they're getting on our nerves, or they're doing something that triggers us. I mean, we've all been that parent or had that parent that we're in the car and we're just fed up with the fighting, and so we just look like that crazy trying to get to stop because we've had enough. Or, for example, you've had a headache all morning. The siblings start screaming, maybe even enjoying laughter, not even fighting as they play. And you triggered to be quiet. they respond or not without any guidance as to what that was supposed to teach them or correct in them. So going to them in the morning and communicating, Mommy has a headache, and this morning it would be very kind of you to just play quietly because loud noises really hurt my head. Being intentional. And some of us just have to be aware enough to be that intentional with our children. Escalated adults cannot de-escalate an escalated child. And nothing feels safe or comforting about that whole scenario. I am talking to myself. When you are calm and in control, then your child can follow suit. You can give them the tools to make the decisions they need to in those moments. And instead of shouting, "Go to your room," which communicates rejection, you can empower them by helping them understand that they, like us, may need some me time, some time to recharge. Help them know how to breathe, count to 10, or get a snack. Really attempt to see and hear your child so that you can see what need their behavior is trying to communicate, so that it can be corrected or guided or met. Whether it's a child or not, the truth is that a large percentage of our confrontation arguments or how we react to something has far less to do with that exact situation and far more to do with something that's going on inside of us that we're holding on to, or something that happened earlier in our day. So the best thing we could do as parents is try to figure out the whys of what we're doing, the motive. Do we really need to discipline them, to correct them so that they can learn? Or are you wanting to punish them because you're mad and your expectations are not being met? Right now, we can all agree that we're all going through the same thing together. So don't get lost in the chaos. Find yourself in it. You have the ability as an adult, as a parent, to take the steps of self-control that they don't have. We are able to recognize, I could have handled that differently. And say that. Apologize often when needed to everybody that you love. It is beneficial for every member, young and old, of your family to realize that we are each human. Empathy is a tool, but it's also a beautiful attribute to build. So when you're activated by something that they did or something else that's happened, maybe something you've seen on the news or the media, if it doesn't bring you peace right now, then turn it off. Another thing to do at this time is to journal your overwhelm. And I know less and less people are writing, so record your thoughts and feelings. It really does get them out. And it may seem awkward at the moment, but it can be a time that you take for some self-care, for some step back. So this is huge, the step back. Take a breath so that you will respond to your child or the issue in your household instead of react. In the moment, don't take things personal. Don't react with judgment. We can know that behavior is communication, and we can intentionally respond to our children, our husband, our family with compassion, which leads me to the last point. Focus on positive interactions during this time and always, because one of my favorite sayings is that people do not care what you know until they know that you care. And the same thing is true for our children. The connected child is the secure child who will respond to your parenting out of love and not rebel, not react out of rebellion. So you can fight with your child for control, or you can be confident that you are the one in control and you can be that source of stability. If you're saying, well, Miss Barnes, you don't know how unstable I feel right now. Grounded is not my strongest attribute right now. We're going to address that in training 3 at the beginning of April. But for now, let's work on transitioning from fighting for control to being on the same team. We are Team Barnes. And the more that you can cultivate unity in your home towards we are on the same team, we have to find things and ways to interact and respond to act right with each other at this time together. When you or I feel accepted, there is peace. And that is true for our children. Tangible, applicable ways for how to be with what is. Progress, not perfection. We cannot control the things that are going on around us and many, many other things in our life, though it would bring us comfort to be able to. How much more do our children, even from us, feel like they can't control a thing? Empower them, empower your family and your team to grow closer together and to grow in this time, and find some things that y'all can all get control of. Grasp some control together. Communication and connection. This is why I feel this way. These are needs of humanity. And when our needs go unmet, it is difficult to feel safe and stable. And that comes out in crazy behaviors from us, if we want to get real honest, but definitely from our children who don't have the development of that self-discipline and self-control. Next training will be needs, that good old basics of childcare. But to finish up our time together today, this one is to know that the outside needs being met aren't the only needs. And you would be really surprised how much children's needs being met outside and inside will dictate their behavior. Next time we'll talk about nutrition and rest, but today their emotional needs, the inside needs of connection, of being connected, being accepted and respected, and communication, being understood, needing to be met, will affect their behavior. This is your time to recharge. So redeem the time with your loved ones. Focus on not getting caught up in the chaos, but learning to really communicate and respond to what our children are trying to tell us in their behaviors. I hope that you've taken away some things from this training. And if not, I hope that you've just taken a breath, self-care to recharge and say, I can do this, and you can. Have a great day.